What's up, YouTube? Excuse me. What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. Wipe the cold out my. But anyway, let's talk about this. So I saw Ticket TV talked about this on one of his platforms. Donald Trump, Elon Musk, the feud escalates. And of course, at one point in time, Elon Musk was Donald Trump's biggest financial backer. I believe he donated something around $350 to $400 million to Trump's successful 2024 reelection campaign. Trump, of course, became just the second president in American history to be elected to a non-consecutive term. And going into the administration, Elon Musk had a lot of influence and was an official assistant, I think, for 3 months to the president of the United States. And he was head of Doge, where he was supposed to be looking into ways of cutting government waste and spending, or excessive government spending. And of course, the break between these two started with a lot of infighting, ultimately. First, infighting. Many people within the Trump administration did not like Elon Musk, the way that he talks to people. Elon's weird, you know what I'm saying? Well, I'm not going to go into specifics here, but, Elon has certain things going on, okay, as far as his personality. Not on YouTube, I'm not going to go into specifics here, but he has a lot of weird things going on with his personality. And, he rubbed a lot of cabinet officials and Trump administration officials the wrong way. They helped push Trump and pressure Trump to get this guy out of the administration. Elon also has a lot of things going on as far as reportedly drug use, which, of course, the mainstream media doesn't talk about. Elon Musk reportedly is a ketamine addict. Now, ketamine is the same drug that unalived Matthew Perry. Ketamine is the same drug that has offed many wealthy former drug users, because ketamine is a drug that's usually administered by hospital officials to get addicts and wean them off of coke or the yayo or other illicit drugs. It's supposed to be a replacement drug to help wean them off of other more illicit drugs, but it's supposed to be taken supervised by an official, because it can do things like suppress your breathing, speed up your heart rate. It can be dangerous. It's not going to be taken recreationally by people, but he's a ketamine addict. Who's going to tell the richest man in the world that he can't get what he wants? Elvis Presley, was far from the richest man in the world, although extremely powerful. He got what he wanted, and we saw what happened to him at the end. And not only that, he still uses the yayo. Maybe, not as much, but he still uses the yayo. The guy uses psychedelic mushrooms. The guy is addicted to all types of different things, man. Pain medication, all types of stuff. Elon also has 20 children by like 5 or 6 baby mamas. His youngest baby mama is half his age. Everybody talking about trying to police who people screw. Elon's like 54. His youngest baby mama, she's 26. I mean, it's just funny how, when you really look at Elon, how unhinged he is, and him posting on X all the time. He's like a white Kanye West, but nobody has the smoke for him, except for me and Ticket so far. Wonder why that is. But if this was your favorite rapper, man, the videos would be cranking left and right. So, you got that. And then you got this big, beautiful bill that has been put out there by Trump. And among the many things in this bill would be an elimination of, what the hell is it called? Jesus, I'm having a brain fart. A tax credit the electric car tax credit, which would hurt Elon Musk and his business, right? So that pretty much was one of the things that pissed him off. Another thing about this bill that pisses people off is, just like any Republican, in this bill embedded are tax breaks to help the very rich at the expense of the poor. So the Republican Party really hasn't changed much, have they? No matter how much they want to put on a populist face, at the end of the day, it's still the dreaded GOP, the grand old party that looks out for the rich and puts his neck on the collective poor, puts his foot on the collective poor's neck. Now, let's talk about this feud. First of all, you got some people talking about this is all a scam. This is a work. This is all for show. They're playing chess where everybody's playing checkers. It's just funny to me, man, that whenever certain people are beefing with one another, certain people, others love to put them in a situation where they're just these cerebral giants, playing into the perception that certain people think on a higher plane than, other people, as if they never lose their temper, as if Elon Musk is the leader from the comics and Donald Trump has shown himself to be a master strategist. Yeah, that's really Donald Trump's personality makeup. If you don't get the fuck out of my face, that Donald Trump is too narcissistic and too soft-skinned to go along with something like that. He's too soft-skinned. Any criticism from anybody burns his soul. It always has. And if anything, Trump has grown more sensitive and bitter over the last several years. This is a legitimate falling out between two former friends or two former business associates / friends. I don't even want to say they were really friends, but they were associates. Okay, that as far as Elon, he admired some things about Trump, right? Also, how does Elon benefit from this? How? Because the left, he already alienated them. His net worth has gone down. Remember, this guy at one point was approaching a net worth of $500 billion. He lost $150 billion in net worth, completely alienating a good portion of this country that were once potential business customers of his. So what sense does it make if this was a strategic thing on his part to have alienated Democrats and now alienate Republicans? It's not a strategy. Doesn't make any sense. As a matter of fact, Trump has already came out late yesterday on Truth Social. X is Elon's space. He came out on Truth Social saying that one great way to get rid of government waste and spending is to cancel Elon Musk government contracts. So he's already trying to retaliate against Elon, or at least talk about it. That doesn't sound like anybody that, you know what I'm saying? That doesn't sound like anybody that's working some con here. Now, we already know Elon, because I haven't gotten to the point yet about what this video should be about, really. We already know Elon Musk accused Donald Trump of being on the ledger, the Epstein ledger. Okay. Now you got some people trying to, well, see, Elon didn't say, man, shut up, man. If Elon is saying that Trump is on the ledger, then he's basically accusing him of being a PDF. Okay. Speaking in code here. He's accusing him of being that. And by the way, I've said this before. If you do a little bit of research on Donald Trump, and if you just step away from your cultish behavior and thinking patterns and actually be objective for once, you'll see that Trump has already legally been in situations that have made moves that strongly imply that he is a PDF. It's not hard to find. It's not. The mainstream media might not talk about it, but it's there. And you have to ask yourself, why does the mainstream media not talk about it? Because of the extreme power of these men. One is now the president of the United States, who is a billionaire. The other one, Elon Musk, is the richest man in the world. Do you really want to smoke with these guys? See, it takes balls and courage to stand up to these types of men. See, it's easy to come on here and throw a historically, depowered politically and financially group of people under the bus for personal profit. That's why you got the Antoine Daniels, the Jason Whitlocks, the Candace Owens. They're all over here. The Officer Tatum, Angry Man. I'm calling out names here. They're all over the place. Black conservative perspective. That's why so many of them, because they can get away with it, because the numbers favor them. But it's really cowardly. But it takes balls to come out here and go after the big dogs. Because usually it's not going to be much financial benefit from it. And if anything, you're going to pay a price. But it displays something that these other people don't have. And that's character, which is becoming something that's solely lacking in today's society. So, I just find it interesting that Kanye West can get on here and cry about, oh, you guys need to stop fighting each other. Why? Why they got to stop fighting each other? Y'all love to see others that look like yourself fight each other all day, every day. You live for it. You get on here and eat your popcorn, and you have a goddamn, you have a ball. You want to see it escalate to the point where it's Tupac and Biggie again. Slow singing, flower bringing. You don't give a fuck as long as you educated. Or, excuse me, entertained. Entertained. You don't want to be educated. You want to be entertained. But yeah, where do they go from here? I guess Elon Musk probably reverts back to both sides are bad, trying to work on salvaging his business. But I will say this, though. It is funny how a lot of people who were just criticizing Elon Musk on the left now all of a sudden are embracing him. Kind of like how they did Romney the last several years when he became an anti-Trumper. When Romney was running for president against Obama in 2012, they was making him out to be, saying a wannabe slave master. He's gonna he's gonna put us back in slavery. They said, Biden said he's gonna put us back in chains. So I do think they're gonna try to do that. And they are doing that. But yeah, I think Elon is done with politics, man. I think he's done with politics, and he sees that it's all bullshit. As I've been telling you before, and most other people who with common sense will tell you, it don't make a fucking difference whether it's a Trump or a Biden or Obama or a Bush or a Nixon, even a Carter. As much as I think he was one of the few good men to be president, if you notice, when you're a good man, even your own party turns against you, like the Democratic Party did against Jimmy Carter. You know? It's all the same, man. The president of the United States is really nothing but just a upper level manager. He's the face you see, but there's other people who behind the curtains are really running the show, especially since November 22nd, 1963. I would say that it's been two presidents. This is just my opinion here. I think there's only been two presidents since Kennedy that have tried to be presidents. One of them was Kennedy, and we saw what happened with him. The other one was Richard Nixon. And because of the tragedy of Kennedy, they let Nixon's paranoia and self-destructive tendencies lead him to self-destruct himself. You know what I'm saying? Basically what I'm saying is, I don't think Watergate is an organic crime. I think that he was set up for that. But Nixon's love for intrigue and his tendency to self-destruct led him to do what he did. But yeah, and I'm saying I think the CIA set him up. But anyway, this is a real feud in my opinion. Will Trump try to... Now this is the thing. We'll know that this is completely legitimate. Completely. If he tries to target, he uses the government to try to target Musk and as far as his businesses. If we see that, then you'll know for certain that this is legitimate. But I already know it's legitimate because Donald Trump doesn't have the mentality to go along with some long-term, you know what I'm saying, 10 steps ahead of everybody, grand strategist plan, like to fool everybody. That's not him, man. If anything, that's somebody like Obama. I could see him doing that, or like I just mentioned, Nixon. I could see him doing that. That's in their personality makeup, not Trump. Trump is too impulsive, and he cannot take criticism. He wouldn't go along with this shit at all. But I know y'all gonna do that. Some of y'all gonna make that shit up because y'all need to deflect because y'all don't want to, whatever, man. I don't want to. Y'all know what it is, man. These dudes just don't have no smoke for certain people, so they're gonna deflect and refrain from making any decisions as far as criticizing one of these two dudes. That's what they do. But that's all I got to say about it.